Coming up today, Sam and Dave install a new digital external measuring application to RV holding tanks to replace your old 1960s measuring system. It's an easy DIY system anyone can do, and we'll learn how this system uses a common bus wiring method. Plus, we'll demonstrate the latest technology in dustless blasting. All that and more on Motorhead Garage.
This is a pretty neat machine. Boy, every shop should have one of these.
You know, in a perfect world.
If there was a perfect world. Hey, welcome to another edition of Motorhead Garage. Well, folks, you know, if you got a car like this you're wanting to restore and you got all this horrible paint on there, you want to get it off. Well, there's a lot of different ways you can do that. None of them are particularly easy, but my gosh, we found one here that I think is really easy. Now, we got Zach McAllister here from MMLJ, who has got what we call a Dustless Blaster. Tell me about it, Zach.
Well, Dave, what we've done is we've combined an abrasive and water inside of the machine itself. So it's going to be delivered under air, just like an abrasive blaster, but it's going to be wet.
Easy thing to do. You can just spray that on here. It takes off the paint. How about environmentally? Is it good for that?
Environmentally, that's exactly why we put down the tarp. The abrasive and the water in the machine cause no harm at all. We're just going to capture our paint and throw it away.
What type of abrasive do you use? You can use about anything in here?
You can use any abrasive as long as it sinks in water and is clean. So for the outside of this car, we chose a fine abrasive for that premium paint job that we want.
Good. And then once you have it cleaned off, is there anything you have to do to prep it for paint other than, you know, take out the dents and all that type of thing?
Well, the beautiful thing is it's going to be ready for primer.
Right off the bat?
Right off the bat.
That's pretty neat. Well, I got to see how this works, and I see Sam is getting all ready. He couldn't hardly wait.
All right, looks like we got the hose here. We're all set. We're hooked to the machine. That a safety?
Yep, you've got your OSHA safety dead man.
Okay, good. Now, you should always wear something to protect your face. And of course, this is making vapor, water vapor. So stand with the wind to your back, and we're gonna hit the metal. I don't have all the glass covered, then you don't want to hit metal with abrasive, you don't want to hit your chrome, but this doesn't bounce off, so we're going to be in good shape, right?
You sure are, absolutely.
Now, how close do I need to get? I don't want to make any heat.
You know, you're going to start somewhere between 8 and 12 inches out, and as you see the paint begin to come off, you might move closer and you might get farther away.
But this is safe for the metal and safe for aluminum, right?
Absolutely. Zero heat will be generated.
So no friction, no heat. Now, the neat part about this is we're using water and sand. We got raw metal, but there's rust inhibitor in the hopper, so it's not going to rust. Sure beats the soda blast stuff because it doesn't leave any chemicals behind. It'll make your paint bubble. In fact, most paint manufacturers won't even warranty the paint if it's been soda blasted, so I'm having fun. Well, I'll tell you what, buddy. That does a great job, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Boy, you see, that's deep in filler. It was taking off all that filler at the same time, and that'll save you a lot of work. And it leaves a surface that's ready to prime. That's awesome.
I'm glad you saved some for me.
Oh, yeah.
You have all the fun.
Yeah, well, this thing works great.
Hey, Zach, I want to find out a little bit more about the machine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you use just shop air on this?
You know, it's a high volume air tool. Most shop compressors are not going to be compatible with this size tool. So
you need to have a lot more air for something like this. So this is really for the professional shop then, right?
Correct, it sure is. It's absolutely a professional tool.
This looks like something somebody could go into business with.
You know, they sure can, and a lot of people take that opportunity to do just that. As you can see today, you know, you can go to a body shop, a restoration shop, and provide this service, you know, for that small shop owner.
So you set these things up so a guy could go into business himself with this, like a whole rig with this and...
The air compressor trailer, absolutely. We have turnkey packages that are very easily available for guys.
So there you go. If you want to go into business for yourself, this could be a way to do it, Zach.
Absolutely.
It's a pretty neat deal. Well, I know Sam was wanting to get started on that, but I think he's going to say something for me. In the meantime, we're going to take a short break. We got a lot more coming here on Motorhead Garage. Stick around. I hope he doesn't blow all that off before I get there. Hey, on this week's Industry Update, we're featuring power steering pump from KRC.
And here's our buddy Roger Mealy to give you a good explanation.
Let me show you a few things on our pump here. This pump is actually built by us in Kennesaw, Georgia. It's not a remanufactured OEM pump like many of them you see out there on the market. We actually designed this for racing and performance. So you'll see that we've really got some nice high quality precision components in this. For one thing, we use bearings. Most pumps are bushings. We use bearings on both ends. Billet rear cover, billet fittings, cast aluminum casing, and it's all fit to very tight tolerances so that it works really well. The one thing that's really important for the street rod market is that, you know, so many times you've got so many variations on your steering system. Factors that come in are like the length of your steering arms, what kind of ratio you've got on your rack or your steering gear. Well, all of those things can factor in and make your flow requirement either up or down. Well, with our pumps, you can change the flow valve. We've got 9 different flow valves that can adjust that assist so that it's a perfect assist for you, the exact feel that you want.
This edition of Motorhead Garage, presented by Low Car Performance Products, is being brought to you by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology. Flowmaster, the exhaust technology company. OPG, the world's largest source for GM A-body parts and accessories. Ultra Dent Tools, your leading PDR tool manufacturer. And by KRC Power Steering, complete manufactured aluminum and cast iron power steering pumps.
Hey, welcome back to Motorhead Garage. Sam and I have found ourselves a beautiful motor coach here. Of course, this was courtesy of Alliance Motor Coach.
Yep, those are the folks that we went down to visit them. They serviced my big coach and washed it when we were on our way to Gainesville, remember?
Exactly. Anyway, one of the things you have on these are a lot of tanks and a lot of systems to monitor. And what we're doing today is we're going to put a little bit of an upgrade on this thing, aren't we, Sam?
Yeah, we're going to retrofit the tank levels. You know, when you have these tanks, you have a freshwater tank, you have a gray tank, and you have a black tank. You need to know what the levels are. There's all different systems they use. Most of them aren't very accurate. Some of them even foul.
Exactly. Well, the nice thing about this is what we have. This is from Garnet, and this is our Sea Level 2 tank monitor. And what it has is got where you can monitor a lot of different tanks with one console. It's got battery, fresh, gray water, black water, LPG, all right here.
Right, and it's all done with these sensing strips here. They mount right on the outside of the tank, real easy to do. They use the same wire harness, so the retrofit for this coach is going to be real easy. By the way, I have these in my coaches, and they work great.
All right, well, you get started on that side, and I'll get started right down here.
All right, Don, what have you found on this unit?
It's got the normal low-cost system that we've come to hate over the years because of its inaccuracy, and also you can see a very, very low resolution. In other words, full, third, or empty. And when you're in between, though, you don't know whether you're 1/3 full or how close you are, so dry camping is not very much fun with this. And secondly, in the black and gray tanks, we have much more trouble with shorting and false readings.
And folks, here's the guy that knows what he's talking about. This is Don from Garnet Technology. This is the sea level gauge. We'll be able to read accurately when we set it all up, every level of the tank. We know what the percentage tank is full, is that right?
Every 3/8 of an inch.
Wow. And that's real important because, like you said, if you're dry camping, particularly you don't want to run out of fresh water, but you don't want your black water or your gray water tank to overfill. So what's our first move here?
We would remove the wiring. The second step would be to measure where we want to put these. And the first consideration is where is the tank being fed from, and we can see this is the tank discharge here.
Right.
So we're going to put an index mark, and we'll base the bottom of our reading to be zeroing just before you run out of water.
Great. So all we're going to use to retrofit this is these 2 wires.
Right.
And we'll leave the probes because you said you don't want any leaks.
Right.
This should have been trimmed anyway when they made it. And what is this little red deal here? That's a diode?
That's a diode, and we don't want that in the circuit, so we're going to eliminate that.
So we'll cut this little tie wrap right here. There we go. I didn't want to cut the wires that we didn't need to cut. We can cut this off.
I would trim it right here.
There.
Right there.
There.
And the ground.
There.
And the last level, the 1/3 level.
Okay.
Okay, now all we're looking for is 2 conductors.
Right.
And that is ground and power. So we're going to use the power line as our communication line, we call it.
So we can throw all that away.
And now we've got all that we need to run this tank.
Now, one of these strips is not tall enough.
We can take scissors and actually shorten these as we need to make them fit in this particular span. So we'll determine where the top's going to be, and we'll mark that, these to fit between these two. And during that configuration, we want to tell the system which one is the top board by breaking a trace. Then the system can tell which is top and which is bottom.
We're going to go ahead and mark this up, cut these, install them. We're going to go on the edge of the tank so you don't have any flex. And as soon as we get that done, we'll be ready to wire it. So let's go ahead and measure this. You want to go from here to about there, right?
Right, flat surface. Making sure there's nothing on the tank surface going to discourage our adhesion. This is a very special adhesive by 3M designed for low energy surface materials like polyethylene. The only two limitations are cleaning and the temperature. It must be at least 60 Fahrenheit in order to adhere properly.
How am I doing, all right?
Right there.
All right, so we're cutting this and sticking this on. We're gonna go ahead and finish this up. Right now, we need to take a break, so stick around. We got a lot more coming here at Motorhead Garage. So this is cut.
So now the next thing is we want to break this trace on that top.
I love when I can find something unique, and a Packard Street Rod is truly unique. Jay, what's a guy from South Dakota doing with a gangster-looking Packard Street Rod?
I don't know, we were just at the local steel yard picking up some sheet metal for the shop, and when scrap prices were so high, a lot of farmers and stuff were bringing in just old cars they had sitting out in the fields, and we seen it sitting there and just thought it'd look cool.
You have a name for this car. What is it?
Yeah, we call it Capone. Looked like something an old gangster from the 30s or early 40s would drive.
Most of this car is stock, isn't it?
Yeah, most of it is. Yeah, we changed the headlights and taillights and chopped it, but body line wise and grill, everything, it's all factory steel on it. So a lot of people think it's fiberglass, but that's the way they made them. They were cool back then, and just nobody realizes it, I guess.
What drives this? What'd you put under the hood?
It's a small block Chevy 383 with an Inglis injection, 700 R4 transmission, Morrison chassis, everything. You know, it's got all the good stuff on it.
The Packard Mark died a very undignified death in 1957, but cars like this help the legacy live on.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Low Car Performance Products, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Hey, welcome back to Motorhead Garage. Well, Sam and Don have been working on that side. Now you've moved over here. I need some help too. What we're going to be doing now is mounting the Sea Level 2 tank monitor. This is it right here. As you can see, you can monitor battery, fresh water, gray, black, LPG, everything all in one little unit. Hopefully, we can replace this with this. And here's what I'm talking about. I'm going to pop this out. There we go.
There you are.
All right.
Now what we're looking for is the pigtail.
All right, so this right
Every
here.
Every console like that will have a pigtail, and it's always red. So we want to unplug that because that is the wire harness that we're going to be using.
Okay, so this is what we're going to get rid of.
Right.
Hopefully, they didn't cut this hole in here so big that we can't use it. If that's the case, we'll be all right. We'll be pretty close.
Pretty close.
All right, so we got this off. Whoop there.
All right. So there's one more piece to the puzzle, and that is the power supply to that switch.
Yeah.
We want to use the constant power as our feed for our console. So
which one's that?
We'll
this
be
right
removing,
here?
Both of them will come off the switch, and then we'll do a test with a voltmeter, make sure we got the right one.
There we go. And let's see if we can get that. Hopefully this spade will come off easier.
And that should be the constant. The insulated one probably is the constant.
This is the constant feed. Okay. All right, let's check this out, Don. See if how close we're going to be here.
The nice thing is that RVIA code tells us by color what wire is doing what. And so we're going to be tying all of our tank lines as far as conductors to one common wire.
Well, we're going to be pretty close here. It's just barely going to make it, but I think I'm going to be all right on that. Okay. So what we do is we'll go ahead and then splice these into these wires, right, and we'll be in good shape then.
Right.
All right, let's see what Sam's doing up there.
So what we did here is, again, we had the white is the ground, the red is the power. Those are wires already in the coach. Makes this a simple retrofit. We tied the two grounds together, the two power leads together, and we taped them up here with some good Gorilla tape on the tank to give it support. The important thing is that these wires stay to the right of the strips, the one on the left side, because that'll impede the signal. Nice and tight, nice and neat. That ties right into the console inside, just like Davey's doing back there. Let's check it out, see how he's doing.
All right, well, now while Sam's been screwing around over there, I've been doing the wiring here. And you can see we got it all hooked up now, and it's working. Got our battery going. But here's our wires here. Our blue goes to gray and black and fresh. Our green goes to our LP right over here. Our red to power, and our black goes to the white, or which is ground. So we got it all going. It's working. Now all we have to do is we'll slide it back in here. I used butt connectors on this. Did a good job on it. It's important to do that because these things vibrate around. You don't want these wires to come loose. So I think that's going to ride pretty good there, Don.
I agree. You did a good job.
All right, so we'll put this on. It just barely covers that hole, but we're okay, I think. Meanwhile, just about run out of time here, Don. Let me get this in so we can see what it's going to look like. Hey.
Looking good.
Look pretty good.
Screws.
Okay. Well, folks, we've run out of time, but you can see what it looks like. I'll go ahead and put the rest of those screws in there, and I think we're in business. Yep. We're featuring products here from ARP, the world's leader in fastener technology.
That's right. If you're building engines, you want them to stay together. You want bolts that are strong, consistent, and they got all kinds of stuff, more than just fasteners.
They sure do. As a matter of fact, what they have here is a ring compressor. If you're doing a lot of engine work, you want a ring compressor or something like this. It makes it a lot easier to install the pistons.
That's right. No clamping. You get it by the bore size. That's a 4-inch 30 over. Push your piston in and you're done.
And they also have oil pump shafts like this. Plus, they got all the lube. This is your fastener assembly lubricant right here. Right. And they also have thread sealer, too.
That way you get consistent torque. And another thing is you need clean-out taps. These don't cut threads. These clean the threads out of all the grip. So that makes the torque real consistent, makes your clamping force the way it should be.
And Sam, you know what? Everybody should have these in their toolbox. And if you don't, go get some, keep them by the side because you'll need them.
We got small block Ford intake bolts here. We got big block Chevy rocker arm screw-in studs. These studs right here, these are bolts for rocker arms for the connecting rod for LS with the broken rods. That's a great way to go.
And for you guys out there with your LS motors, look at what they have right here. They've got a complete kit of polished stainless steel fasteners. Look at this. They got everything here you're going to need.
That is a beautiful kit. Again, if you're building it, you want it to stay together and not break, ARP, it's the way to go.
And if you want more information about it, all you have to do is go to their website.
This edition of Motorhead Garage, presented by Low Car Performance Products, is being brought to you by Tailgate Master, the better way to get in and out of your truck bed. Tough Country, leveling kits and lift kits for all major brand trucks. Bull Accessories, America's best-selling truck anchor points. American Engine Hoist, out of the Stone Age and into the Space Age. And by TRD Sparks, discount online TRD OEM performance parts and accessories store.
Hey, welcome back to Motorhead Garage. Well, just checking the oil in this big old diesel here. It's pretty dirty, but diesel oil is usually pretty black from all the soot. What we have here is a big old KW 600. It's got a Cummins in it. Now these things over the road work hard. Haul a lot of weight. These engines get hot. This big turbocharger here spins all the time. These turbo diesels rely on that to make power. This truck's going to be due for preventative maintenance in the next 1,500, 2,000 miles or so. So it's got some problems. Got some blow-by, engine making a little bit of noise, a little bit of smoke. We're going to treat the engine with this product from XADO. It's atomic metal conditioner. This is a big bottle made for a crankcase this size. It's got about 45 quarts in it. So all you do is pour it in, run it for about 1,000, 1,500 miles before you change the oil. It does a great job of revitalizing this engine. Show them how it works, Davey.
I'll be happy to. We got Mike Taylor here from XADO. And Mike, exactly how does this work?
It works by putting a ceramic coating on any friction parts in engines, transmissions, differentials, stuff like that. It will actually fill in scratches in cylinder walls, increasing compression, reducing blow-by, making everything more efficient, The ceramic coating's slicker and smoother than the original steel in the engine, so it'll reduce friction and get you a little better gas mileage. But the biggest benefit, it makes everything last 2 to 4 times longer, all those friction parts.
So it actually does put like a coating on there. Actually,
Correct.
you can measure it then.
Yes, a measurable coating.
And how does it do it? It's heat activated, right?
Correct, by heat and friction. When it gets into heat and friction areas, it's actually a chemical reaction, and it starts a coating process.
You know, this technology is not particularly new because it's been around for a long time. It's been used a lot in the industrial side of things where you got a very expensive equipment that you need to make last for a long period of time. This is something that they've been doing in that area. And of course, in motorsports and racing in particular, I know about that. You know, they're coating a lot of stuff in these engines to make them last
Right.
longer.
Correct.
And it withstand a lot of heat, that type of thing as well. Now, you also have this for the rear end as well, right? For the
Correct.
differential.
For the differentials, one of these treats up to a gallon of fluid. It'll put the ceramic coating on the gears, make them engage firmer, smoother. It'll quieten down chatter in rear end, stuff like that.
Well, rear end takes a lot of abuse back there, a lot of heat. There's a lot of friction going on. Of course, they're the ones that are feeling all that weight back there.
Yep.
But it's easy to install. Let's see how Sam's doing.
All right, this thing's got 2 big differentials with a power divider. Here's a little tip. Before you pull these plugs out, make sure you take any of the crud and wipe it off so it doesn't fall inside your differential. Got some pretty good sized magnets here to pick up the fur. All you need to do is make sure you got some fluid in there. That's, the level's good right there. That's a level plug, obviously. Take your cap off, and you can take this. It has a little dial on it. We're going to put the whole thing in this differential. Once I've got this in this differential, then we'll go ahead and you'll need another one for the front differential.
I've got it for you, bud.
Well, you're
so
on
you
top
go
of it.
ahead and just keep squirting.
All right.
In the meantime, you know, they make this for a lot of different applications, any kind of internal combustion engine, manual transmission, so it's a good all-around product. If you want more information about XADO, all you have to do is go to their website. Well, while Sam is working on this thing, we've run out of time. We'll see you again next time here on Motorhead Garage.
So long.
Okay, you got one more differential.
Well, let me tighten this one up so don't forget it.
I don't have time to wait.
Boy, I'll tell you, you really are becoming impatient.